Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar, and believe it or not, I'm just finishing up just posting all our high probability setups onto the site, and I'm working on the last stock, Biogen, and I decided to actually throw this one out to the public because this is a really nice setup. We recently taken this trade as a head and shoulders short, and again, because the stock has so many great characteristics, I wanted to use it also as a kind of a little educational video of how to break down a stock and how to trade a stock both ways. A topping pattern, like a head and shoulders pattern, is really a change of trend pattern. It's a topping pattern, but it usually comes out of an upward channel, and the channel really breaks down when you have a lower high. And that lower high, even though you could see it on the graph, would love to get a confirmation crossover. And what we really want to see is, you have a trend here. You don't really know it's a head and shoulders until you start to see the stochastic start to move back up into an overbought level. Not quite there yet, but you're watching it because the price is no longer moving higher. Lots of times you'll see a series of higher highs, and when the stochastics are moving up higher, the price is usually higher too than the preset. So as you get closer to the overbought level, and the stock is not, maybe starts to put in that little, look as a familiar look as a head and shoulders pattern, then you start paying attention to it. And really the trigger is when you get that crossover. A lot of people say, well, the trigger is going to come when there's a breakout or a breakdown of the neckline, and that's not really a great trade. It's not a good risk-reward trade because half the move is already passed. And lots of times you get a breakdown, you get a bounce back to the trend line before a follow through. So even if you wanted to take this short, you would take actually the break. You would take this as the short, not the break out here. And then you get that follow through. So at the point here, why am I looking at it right now? Well, because it's really, it gave us a nice breakdown. We know that stocks, typical head and shoulders patterns. There's a way of focusing on the profit taking area. It's called a measured move, and we really just draw a neckline to head a line, and then we kind of extend that down to where the breakdown happens, and then that usually kind of calculates where we want to look at profit taking, or you want to look at where the original bounce is going to come here. And you can see this actually did get a little bounce off of here and then pulled back, and it's been chopping around. So what I wanted to do, what I'm doing right now on the site for the HPS site, is breaking this down for the members of Day Trading Radio, and it's really a great setup. So we recognize that we have a couple pivot areas, and what I love to do, and this is a technique off the playbook. It's called a lower trend line stochastic bounce, and basically once we establish a couple good pivot areas in the stock, and recognize a channel, there's definitely a good channel here. You have a pivot here, you have a pivot here, you have a pivot here, you have a pivot here. So it really recognizes, develops that channel. But we're a little overbought on the stochastics here. And what I'm looking for here is, because we recognize the pattern, we want to get the best possible bounce area. Now, this is not a guaranteed bounce. This actually could rip on, early this week. But what we want to do and be, to be a successful trader, you have to plan out your trade ahead of the time. If you have everything planned out, it just becomes so easy to feel comfortable, feel confident, and actually execute your trade on time and not chasing anything. Most people chase things. They see something moving up here and they think it's going to break out, but they pay attention to the signals. They know that's a great short. This is really where you want to take that long as you come down closer to that trend line and you get the oversold stochastic balance and a combination of the indicators, and that's the key right there. So now we can plan out this trade ahead and take it only if it comes up into our situation, and that's what the HPS setup is. It outlines stocks that are setting up. We're not chasing anything, and it gives you exactly the high probability area. So what I'm going to be waiting for, and this is what's going to be on the platform, is we expect this stochastic, or in best case scenario, we're going to pull back into an oversold level, and the price level is going to come back down. All right, and then we're going to start to actually see a double bottom, which would be a divergence, or even the possibility of a breakdown on a lower trend line. But in either case, this area becomes a very high profitable trade zone, because as the stock pulls back, you get that reactionary bounce. So you'd probably most likely going to get that bounce. So as we pull into our high probability zone, this buy zone gets inputted onto the back end of the HPS site, and we are going to, when that triggers real time, you get the alert to that. I usually end up taking the trade, and we all make some money. So again, the combination of here is this is a trade for next week, going into the week of Veterans Day week, November 12th, 13th, 14th, or 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. At one point, if we get this price down into this level, I'm going to issue that alert. We're going to be taking that trade. It should be a really good trade. Maybe we'll come back and revisit it next week if I have another good setup for you. But that's all I wanted to do, is give you and I wanted to give you a HPS freebie there. We have great setups for this week. I don't even know, I have about 7 other great high probability setups. So a couple financial stocks, and some really great stocks that we're really going to crush this week. So come on by, stop by, watch this show even. DayTradingRadio.com on the air, 8:30 to about 4 o'clock. Oh, definitely 4 o'clock, and trading the markets live. All right, see you then.